Hey guys, Slasher Movies 410 back again with another video, and for today's video I'm going to be unboxing the MTV Scream Brandon James mask by Fun World. So this mask was sent to me by my good friend Nightmare Fuel Studios, so shout out to him. He had an extra tagged copy that he was willing to part with, and I actually traded my old MTV Fun World mask a long time ago, so I reached out to him because I really wanted another one. And I also rewatched the previous 2 seasons of MTV Scream, so that kind of put me in a Brandon James mood. So I really wanted to get another Brandon James mask for the collection. And he also sold it to me for a very reasonable price, which is something I really appreciate, considering that the masks are pretty sought after now, which I personally don't really understand because the plastic on these things are just so damn flimsy and cheap, and the paint jobs are mediocre at best. But nonetheless, I can't wait to unbox this and add it to my collection because I've always wanted to own an officially licensed Brandon James mask once again. So without further ado, let's get right into it. I'm also going to be opening this package with my Buck 119 Special, which is the same knife that the killer used in MTV Scream. Alright, let's take a look at the mask. So here it is, the officially licensed MTV Scream Brandon James mask. Alright, so I decided to display this thing on my wall, and I gotta say, this thing looks really good. So this particular mask has an excellent shape to it, and the paint up is actually one of the better ones that I've seen personally. The only thing that's wrong with this mask is that Nightmare Fuel Studios actually alerted me that there was a pretty large crack under the chin, but he actually glued it back together, and it's really hardly noticeable at all. You could see the little glue mark there a little bit if I zoom in, but that's literally the only thing that's wrong with this. I don't see any other cracks on the mask, so yeah, I ended up getting a really nice copy. These masks are unfortunately so damn flimsy, and the plastic is like paper thin. So cracks are definitely bound to happen, or rips and tears. So make sure if you guys are storing the mask, don't store it with like any other mask that could potentially damage it. Like, don't stack them on top of each other or anything. And just be really careful with them. And I'm also going to be leaving this mask tagged, of course. And I'm going to hang it up on my wall with the other Ghostface masks in my horror room. This copy right here has a decent amount of weathering on it, especially around the eyes and under the nose. And I've seen some really bad copies out there that have like excessive weathering around the mouth. So here's the back of the mask. Not much to it. It just has one elastic strap. It's got a little foam piece in the inside. Kind of wish they added more, but that's okay. And then the inside actually has some eye mesh. I think they could have went a little heavier on the eye mesh because when I put this thing on, obviously I don't want my eyes or my mouth to be exposed. But I could add some other layers. That's really not a problem. And then here's the tag on the inside. The Weinstein Company, 2015 copyright. I think the real reason why these masks are starting to become rare is because the first 2 seasons of MTV Scream were under contract by the Weinstein Company, and the Weinstein Company no longer exists now, and Spyglass owns the rights to the new Scream movies, so that could definitely play into it somehow. And I think that people are assuming that since these masks are discontinued, they'll continue to go up in value, just like the 90s Fantastic Faces masks. But in my opinion, I don't see that happening at all because MTV Scream was really short-lived, and we never even got to see a 3rd season. It got canceled, so. And the show also has such a small fan base, and the ratings were pretty low, so I don't think that these masks are going to be as sought after like the Fantastic Faces masks were. As most of you know, I'm a fan of the show personally. I thought it was entertaining and intriguing, and I also thought some of the characters, not all of them, were interesting to follow, and I do really like the Brandon James character as well as his backstory. And some of the deaths were also pretty graphic for MTV, so I definitely recommend giving it a watch on Netflix, especially now because I believe that Netflix license runs up on them soon, and I don't think they have any plans to renew the series, so if you guys want to watch the show, definitely do it now. I also do have another tagged Brandon James mask, but this one is from the United Kingdom. I believe this is from a store called Poundland or something like that. This one has a very glossy type of finish. Obviously, the weathering around the eyes and the mouth don't look as good. It's not as clean as that one, and there's very minimal weathering, maybe on like the edges of the mask, but that's about it. And the shape of it is also not as good. It's kind of wide, you know. Not only that, but I also have a latex mask that Nightmare Fuel Studios made for me a long time ago. This is the first ever latex Brandon James mask that he's done, so that's pretty cool. He actually made this when season 1 was still airing, so obviously there weren't a lot of reference pictures out there, and he did the best he could, and I think he did an excellent job. I also got 2 of these skull masks that Jake and Will wore in the show when they were blackmailing the mayor. These were $2 each at Party City. I'm not sure if they still sell them there, but if you guys are looking to get these, I highly recommend them. And they're pretty cool, you know. It's just like a regular plastic face mask, which they painted, of course. I got one tagged and one untagged. But yeah, there's that. And then finally, of course, I got my fiberglass Brandon James mask. This one is definitely my favorite Brandon James mask in my whole collection. I actually prefer this mask over the one Oz makes. I do like the one Oz makes, but the problem is the durability isn't like great on those. It's made out of vacuum formed plastic, and this is fiberglass, so obviously this beats it. And I actually prefer the weathering on this one. It's definitely heavily weathered, and it really has a season 1 look to it for sure. Here's the inside of the mask. I actually plan on showing all of these masks again in a future video. I would say probably when I do a Scream mask collection video. So these will definitely be featured for sure. So guys, that's going to be a wrap on this unboxing video. I really hope you all enjoyed. Just a little quick notice, I am going to be putting together another Brandon James costume test video. I am going to be purchasing the same poncho that they used in the show. It's a military style poncho. I had an old one in the past, but it was like really cheap quality. I think I got it for like $15. And it really started to wrinkle over time, and it kind of looked like I was wearing a garbage bag. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get that screen accurate poncho. It's going to look a lot better. So again, guys, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Make sure to hit that notification bell, and I will see you later with some more videos.